Alright, so Jordan is now away home. I'm on my lonesome again. Just whipped up a coolant pipe joiner out of a bit of 34mm pipe. Of course I'm using cut-offs of hoses. This is the one that fits in the thermostat housing with a spring clip. This one fits on the bottom hose of the radiator. And between the two of them, they line up just lovely. So, going to get this all fitted now, a couple of Jubilee clips on it, and hopefully that's the bottom hose sorted. Then I just have to work out what on earth I'm doing with this. I'm going to assume I'm going to have to lop this off somewhere here and just put a joiner on there. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. Is it higher than the radiator? It is. That could be the bleed point. I might just put a hose and a bolt in that and then make it a bleed point. But yeah, for now, I think I'm going to end up recip sawing this off, getting a bit of hose that fits on there and trying to do something to get it over to here. But let's get the bottom hose on first. Right, so bottom hose is now in the whole way. Top hose, I've managed to sort of cobble together another few bits of coolant pipe with a joiner. Made another joiner for it there out of that galv pipe. So standard form, this was pointing something like this. Cut it off. And I'm going to get another bit of that 32mm, bore the inside of it out in the lathe to slip fit over this, weld around it to extend it out about 4 inches. And then that's a perfect fit for the inside diameter of this. And it'll be welded around this, so it shouldn't go anywhere, hopefully. So that should actually work out quite nicely for a top hose. Need to make sure I leave enough room over there for the intercooler piping to come down and stuff. So I think this is probably the tightest radius bend I can get on here. But I'll have a wee look in a minute before I button anything up finally. Pretty happy with how it's working out, I must say. Right, so that's that. It's hard to hold the camera, but that's that as a slip fit on there. So I'm going to take it back off, clean the paint off the black here, take it and weld it right round. Alright, respirator is on because this is galvanized and I don't fancy getting galvanic poisoning. Lovely. Okay, so top hose complete. Complete with bolts blocking off other bits. I'm not sure if I'm going to need them for bleeder valves or anything yet, so we'll leave them as they are. Now then, the next step, if I can find the torch, is to get the heater pipes done. And I think there's one of them in there somewhere. There's one down in there. There's one where? Where are you? There's one there. Can't see it currently. Ish. That needs all connected up. Where is the other one at? Where are you? There. You maybe can't see it, but it's down in there. So I've sort of rescued these two fittings off the standard hoses. I just took I cut the clip with the grinder very carefully. And I'm going to try and pop these on and see if I can make enough pipe out of these to fit, because that's the only pipe I have, of course, in that diameter. So let's see what we can get done. Okay, coolant hose is all done. You can just about see them looping around in there. I was able to use everything from the Audi and just cut it down. That's the top hose all done there as well. Again, I've showed you that already. Bottom hose is done. 2 of those are done. I think that's all the coolant done. So technically the next night I'm out, I'm going to fill it with coolant. Then I think I'm going to get the intercooler lines done and the air filter done so I can get the MAF sensor in. It's not happy at the minute with not seeing the MAF sensor, no boost, etc, etc. So yes, that'll do me for tonight. Most likely it's another late-ish one. So yeah, and I've just actually realised it's 0 degrees. So time to pack up for the night, and I'll catch you again shortly. I'm going to stop you here just to ask very quickly to pause the video. Do drop down to the video. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Like, share, do all the good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments of the series so far, what you would have done different, and yeah, what you wouldn't have done, all that carry on. But anyway, back to the video. Go on. Right. Boost piping should be pretty simple, I hope. I've ordered a 90 to come out of there and into this. That leads straight into the intercooler. This one here just comes out quite nicely. Heads down towards there. Again, another 90 to come around the corner. 2 bits of straight in there, and a 90 in the between. That's that done. Air filter. MAF sensor conveniently fits into the ram air I have. So probably end up sitting over here somewhere. And I get a 45 and an adapter, put it on the turbo. So hopefully nearly there. I love the 3D printer. So turbo inlet is about 45 mil, I think. The inlet needs to be 3-inch, 76 mil. I have a 63 to 76 adapter, and I 3D printed this for proof of concept to see if it's going to work. So there's 2 locating lugs on here, so this will go on there, and then this will go on over the top like that. Perfect. Now I don't know if that's going to hold up with temperatures. It's probably just going to go floppy and fall off, but it's a proof of concept that I can then take this bit of aluminium, which is the same size, and bore the middle of it out and just make the same thing in aluminium. So yeah, happy days. Well, that's her all plumbed up. Well, waiting on 2 elbows and waiting on the one for there and the one for there. But coolant dinner doesn't seem to be leaking. Air filter is on. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to see if that opens here, and then let her cool down. But we're 36.9 so far, 37.8. Yep, we're climbing. So happy days. Happy days. We are charging. Ignore the charging cable. Right, so that's inlet piping all done. You can see it's coming down out of the turbo. It's going in and sticking into the intercooler. Same over here, it comes down from there into a joiner 90 and into the intercooler. So that's all done nicely. As for the exhaust, right, wrong side. I managed to find this piece of pipe in the scrap bin that I literally haven't touched apart from a wee quick kink in it here to clear the tunnel and to bend it back up to meet the other exhaust. But downpipe now, and it's just tack welded up there. I'm going to take it back off the car and weld it fully now. But apart from that little kinky bit there, I'm going to cut the studs off these so it doesn't rattle. But stock exhaust the whole way back to here, just a new downpipe. So that is perfect. I'm going to get that welded up, and then I can get clamps on and stuff here. As for prop shaft, now, standard Ford Capri prop shaft is in and it works. It turns the back wheels. However, there's about 5mm difference in the OD of the Ford prop shaft and the OD of the MX-5 or RX-8 or whatever it is prop shaft, right? So my plan is I have a perfect bit of pipe here. That thick wall. That is the perfect size to be machined in both faces to meet the OD of the RX-8 gearbox and the ID of the Capri prop shaft. So I'm going to lop a bit off this. It's about 100mm long, maybe 95 to allow for a wee tack weld. Then machine it that it fits over that Capri prop shaft up in there, and then it's the same diameter as the RX-8 one down there, because that prop shaft is too short. It's a customer one anyway, but it's too short by about 120mm or something. Whereas this one is perfect, apart from, well, I'm going to make a wee spacer for it because it doesn't sit right in the seal. There's about 15mm shiny bit there. So I'm going to make up a spacer at the diff end, 15mm deep. And yeah, we'll go from there. Right, so it's time to start making this prop shaft spacer. I've got a bit of 4.5-inch aluminium stock in the lathe here to spacing it off. I'm going to then go and measure what exactly I need, width-wise or depth-wise rather. Then measure. There's 2 spigots. There's one on the front and one on the back. They are location rings for sitting into the prop flange and into the diff flange. So that's the critical measurements for me right now. So once we get this done, once I get this face, which it is now, I'll go and measure, and then I can start cutting into this space, whatever I need. Right. I have got this all measured up. Basically, I need a 56mm shoulder on this side. On the far side, I need a 56mm inlet in the cut into the face. So the prop flange sticks out, you can see, by about 2mm. So I'm going to need one side with a 2mm deep inset into it, and the other side then with the spigot sticking out 56mm. So I'm going to drill a hole through the middle of it first of all, because I think it could be useful later on whenever I'm fixturing to clean down the outside diameter. I worked out that I can use about a 30mm hole in the middle, still leave me a good deep shoulder on the locator ring. So yeah, I'm going to buck a hole through it with a center drill, then chuck a 20mm through it. Might have bigger ones, might have inch over here. You know the state of the workshop, it's been a few busy evenings, let's just say. Ooh, baby. What are you? 1 inch. Yes, I do have an inch. So I'm going to chuck an inch through it.
Roll up my window, don't know where I'm bound. Driving by the river, there's a hole in the ground. Hand-me-down t-shirt sticking on my back. Heading for a fall. Had to get up to crawl. I ain't got no time to stall. On my way to nowhere. no time to stall. On my way to nowhere, I'm not afraid at all.
So, guess we forgot to zero the calipers again and we're with 7mm off, but nonetheless, I'm happy enough with that. It's only a rough figure I guessed in my head for 31 or for 30mm, so 31 for an overshoot, I'll take it at this stage. I got very confused there because it was reading 21, 22mm. This is an inch bit, which should be 25mm, so yeah. Nonetheless, worked it out now, disaster averted. I'm going to then start machining down this to meet the 56mm inner spigot thing that I need. In fact, I might do this one from the inside out first. Then I'll still have a flat edge to mount in the back of the chuck. .05. Hopefully that's enough. That's been lovely. No movement in that. Right, so that's that side done. Right, now comes the time-consuming process of turning this thing around. This is a 4-jaw, mainly because the 3-jaw I have isn't quite beefy enough. Right, after much back and forth with a very dodgy DTI, I think we're good to go. that first time. It was a wee bit sloppy of a fit in the end, went too far. It's perfect there now, there is no movement in it whatsoever. Next plan is to take this, I think, to the bench. I think I'm finished with the lathes now. Well, not finished completely, but I'll get to that. I'm going to mark the 4 prop shaft holes in it, drill those out in the drill press, bolt this flange to this, chuck this up in the lathe, and then spin this down to the correct outer diameter. So, let's go. Well, there's one spacer machined up. Need to make or buy longer bolts. And whenever I get the longer bolts, I might take the outside edge down to match the prop, but we'll see. Depends how fussy I'm being. All right. One prop shaft spacer made up. Need to make one more bolt. I'm also going to need to space this back by 30mm or whatever it was I moved it. But it also sits lovely in the splines there now. Just need to make the sleeve now for the outer bit. But yeah, we're getting there. All right then, so I've made the flange adapter or the spacer for the back of the prop shaft. Now it's time to make the adapter for the actual slip joint at the front. It's just a sleeve I'm making to go over the top of it because the Capri splines are the same as the RX-8, but the outer diameter is a wee bit thinner. So I need to bring this to 34.8 inner diameter and 37.83 outer diameter. So I started off with about a 38mm roll cage tubing. So let's get this sort of taken down to rough size and try it on. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to start again. Inside diameter is about perfect. However, I made a bit of an error on the outside. You can just about see there where my fingernail is. I came in too heavy for the final pass. So whilst it does fit in here, there's a wee bit of movement on it. I'm not entirely happy with it. If I go to the fatter end of it, it fits in there lovely. There's no movement in it in the bushing. However, I think this is going to be too, I think the seal is not going to be happy, although there's an inner lip on that seal actually, that's just the outer edge. Yeah, there's a weep hole. Might be alright. Because like the inner, where it sits on the bearing there, it's lovely. It's tight as a duck's rear end, which is watertight. So I might send it, but I'll see. Right, so not perfect by any means, but there is a sleeve machined up for the gearbox. Up in here, there's enough light. Goes up in there, lovely. Hear it running on the bush inside, it's nice and snug. So, this is round 2. I did go ahead and remake it because the other one just wasn't pleasing me. So there's the old one. But yeah, now this one, need now to get this set up in the press, or maybe just heat this up and set it on with a bit of Loctite. Clean this up first, obviously. Press this on, and then should be good. Right, have this smeared in Loctite. Let's get rid of the flammable brake cleaner. It shouldn't take too much to heat this because it's only like 1.5 mil wall. Oh yes. Oh no. No. I've ballsed up. I have ballsed up. Somebody help me. Right, okay. Things aren't good. I think it's too tight. Now what do I do? Right, we're going to the press. It's going on. It's going on. Oh, it's going on nicely actually. No need for heat. Not even built any pressure on the ram, so I'll say that's good, hopefully. Lovely. Right, it's in the box. I've pushed the whole way home just to check that it actually does go on in, it doesn't bottom out. And there is no play in it at all. Nice fit, I have to say. Pull it back out a wee bit. But yeah, I have to say that has gone in quite nicely. Hopefully with the Loctite and everything on it, it won't ever move. But it's time now to pull it back out of the gearbox, whatever that is, 10-15 mil, and get it all bolted up. Okay, one prop shaft fitted, bolts in and torqued up with the impact gun. These center bearing is now relocated, just made a wee like a lengthening bracket thing. I don't know what the word is, but that's what I made. Prop now sits in there quite nicely. Whenever the weight goes on at the back, I would say that'll push in a wee bit, but it's plenty of engagement. It's sliding in and out lovely. It's tight, so I'm very happy with that. Time to fill up the gearbox oil of the bung out. I'm gonna get the oil now. And then yeah, I think it's a matter of putting the anti-roll bar, track control arms and bits and pieces in the front. Taking her off the lift, mounting the throttle pedal and see if it drives. Right, behold the wonder that is the throttle pedal mounting. Yes, those are bonnet ram tabs used as spacers, just to try and stop any flex in the bulkhead. Up in here, that is not handy to get to. But I've made like a 6mm thick spacer plate in behind it, so it doesn't flex in the bulkhead on this side, and it gives it a flat surface to mount to, and we have full travel. So I guess all it really leaves now is to see if it drives. I need to wire the fan in, but for all I'm driving it, it's not going to get warm enough. I also actually do need to screw the battery in because it's very tight to the alternator and there is nothing holding it in. So I'll do that off camera and then we'll go for a drive. Third gear and it just steps the back end out. Alright then, I'm not entirely sure how much you can see because it's quite dark. It is 4:45, but I've made it as far as the filling station. Still no power steering this thing, but quicker than you'd expect, I must say. I think it's a combination of the torque and the very low gear ratios that the R88 box provides, but it's quite torquey and quite quick off the line. Top end, not great, but I'm going to change the final drive ratio in the axle. I'm going to drop it down to a 309 V6 ratio and see if that helps me. But I'll get her out onto the open road here and show you hopefully a bit better what it can do. I'm climbing a very steep hill currently. Fourth gear, just take over. it'll pull a house down, this thing. I'm still taking it quite gingerly because it's only the second time I've had it out, and anybody on here that's done a project car knows that there's always something will go wrong. So far everything seems good. I've done maybe, I don't know, 15-20 miles in it so far. So, right, hopefully be able to give her some at this junction. I will say, anything up until about 4th gear is just spin city. It just wants to spin the tubes off her. So, look, something's coming. Something else coming. So clutch is out in second. Just spins the wheels. I'd love to know if it actually puts out a lot of black smoke, but can't really tell. Especially not whenever it's sort of near dark. But yeah. Overall, first impressions of this swap are unreal. The torque off it, again that was 4th. The torque off it is amazing. Drivability, lovely. It will hopefully improve a lot whenever I change the final drive ratio. I also need to fit a diff because, or a limited slip diff, because, as I said, first, second and third, if you give it any means at all, especially in the wet, it just tries to step out. So I think we'll stick a diff in, change the ratio at the same time, and that should hopefully help that. But yeah, I don't know if you can see it down there. I don't know how wide the wide angle lens is in a GoPro, but top of dash going on here. So it's around about 2100 revs at 40 in 5th. Oh, so that's 4th. 1600 revs at 40. Walked about 60, I think it's about 2400 or something. And 70 is about 3000 RPM. So on a petrol that's going to be not too bad, but a diesel, the turbo is well spooled at that point. And literally any wee touch of the throttle pedal and just fighting to go, she wants to go. So I think 309 will drop that right, well not right down, but it'll drop considerably. And it should be a bit more drivable. One thing I'll say, is I've now done 6.5 miles on this trip. The coolant is only sitting at 57 degrees. So that's without fans. There's no fans wired up yet. I didn't bother doing them. So yeah, I'm not used to that. Petrol life, you're half expected to boil over at any given moment, really.
Okay then, I've been out for a very brief couple of drives. I think I've done about 20 to 25 miles now in total. Not a single breakdown. Apart from the first time I went out, I forgot to put the steering wheel nut back on. So that was entertaining, but it wasn't on video, thankfully. Thankfully for me anyway. I caught it just the right moment. The steering wheel, I went to turn, I was only turning thankfully, but as I went to turn the steering wheel came up, I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, so anyway, lesson learned, and it's now tight again. It's now on with a nut. Regardless, car is on the road. The PD130 swap, I'm not going to call it finished, it's nowhere near finished. There's a lot of refinement left to do. But on the whole, it starts, it drives, it works. The gearing definitely needs changed. So, I have a 309 rear axle, need to collect it off a friend. Came as part of the deal with the Mark II X Pack, which is sitting up there. I have to go collect it, and I think it'll drop the gear ratios enough to make it nice and drivable. At the moment, whenever you're in 70, it's about 3,000 RPM, maybe 2,900, which the turbo is spooled at that stage, well and truly spooled. So, whilst it's nice and responsive, it's at the wrong area of the rev range for me. It needs to be in like cruising mode at 70 mile an hour. I genuinely don't go fast in these things anymore. Used to, having a day of all that, but nah. But I'm messing about in the back lanes and then cruising at 70 really. Ish. I think I'm going to leave it there. So, if you've liked this video, you've liked the series of the PD swap, there's a lot more to come on it yet. I still have a lot more refinements, let's say, to do, of all the axle stuff to do, of new springs for the front, new springs for the back, new shocks. I might even go with the 4-link bolt-on kit at some point, or the 5-link bolt-on kit at some point. I have interior bits and pieces to wrap up with the centre console, and I may or may not have a fiberglass X-Pack kit coming for it as well. So the front wings, as you know them, with the holes and all that carry on, I think at some point this year, it might be near the end of the year, but at some point this year, we're going for Mark III X-Pack on this. The plan, the overall goal for the future of the fleet of this garage, hopefully, is to have a Mark III X-Pack and a Mark II X-Pack. I think they would look pretty cool together. And yeah, wide bodies are just, they're the way forward. So for now, I am going to go and get a cup of lemon sip and sip of the fire. But thank you very much again for watching this series, for all the comments, the help along the way. Please, it is free. If you could, go and hit the like button, drop a comment to let me know what you thought, what you would have done differently. If you're still here to hear this, thank you. And I'll catch you again hopefully very soon, whenever this thing is out cruising about in the streets, all finished up mechanically, and yeah, back on the road for another season. I've applied for a couple of indoor shows this year, so hopefully we'll be able to get to meet you in person to get a look around it. I've applied for Dubshed, unsure if I'll get in, don't know, but maybe see you there in April if I get into that one. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Bye.